As of the time of writing, the 2022 Qatar World Cup is currently taking place. It's been a tough old time for human rights, but don't worry because Gianni Infantino, the top man at FIFA, is here to save us all.
Today I feel gay.
For queer sports fans, there's always been discrimination in practically every sport. And with the World Cup treating our rights as a debate rather than something that should be fought for, it can be rather tiring. If only there was a sport event where LGBTQ people could compete without fear of judgment and prejudice. If only there was a Gay Olympics. Oh, wait, there already is. This is the Gay Games, and what began in 1982 in California as a countercultural sports meet is now a multi-million-dollar celebration of LGBTQ+ sports, culture and human rights. So let us explore the origins of the Games and ask ourselves whether we still need them in the 21st century. It all started with Tom Waddell, a queer American physician and decathlete who competed in the 1968 Mexico Olympics. His competitive career didn't last long, however, having to end it after a knee injury in 1972. He came up with the idea for the Gay Olympics after he had watched a gay men's bowling tournament on TV. At the time, he felt the gay rights movement was largely dominated by stereotypes of the LGBT community. Waddell wanted to show how gay men and women were normal people first before they were gay. He felt that bowling tournament allowed men to show their true colours and not have to worry about hiding their sexuality, and Waddell wanted to create this with his own sporting event. Alongside his friend Mark Brown, they came up with the idea of an Olympic-style tournament. The pair were then joined by Paul Mart to create the Gay Olympic Committee, which later turned into the San Francisco Art Athletics Committee, or SFAA for short. The inaugural Gay Olympics was set to begin in August 1982. However, trouble began to arise. Less than 3 weeks before the opening of the Games, they faced a lawsuit. They were sued by the International Olympic Committee as they had exclusive rights to use the word Olympic in the United States. The issue was resolved as the Gay Olympics changed its name to the Gay Games. Before the Games could begin, a torch must arrive at the host stadium, just as happens in the Olympics. The torch began its journey in New York at the site where the Stonewall riots began, and made its way to Kezar Stadium in San Francisco, with the city commonly being known as the gay capital of the world. The Games began on the 28th of August 1982 and featured 1,350 athletes from 10 countries competing in 16 different sports. The inaugural Gay Games came to an end on the 5th of September 1982. 4 years later, the Games returned to San Francisco for a second edition, and since the third Gay Games in 1990, the Games have moved host city, visiting places such as Vancouver, Amsterdam, Sydney and Paris. By the 1994 Games, they had become so successful that they overtook the Olympics in size, in terms of competitors at least, with 10,684 athletes taking part, which was more than the 1992 and 1996 Olympic Games. That leads us to today, with the 11th edition of the Games set to take place in 2023 in Hong Kong and Guadalajara, Mexico, and will be the first time the Games have been hosted in Asia. But are the Games necessary? It's 2022. Surely our society has progressed enough where we no longer need the Gay Games, and we can all be united in the Olympics. Alas, no. Transgender athletes still come under attack from governing bodies of different sports by denying them the opportunity to compete in the categories of their gender they align with. And unfortunately, this is happening now more than ever. Earlier this year, for example, FINA banned transgender athletes from competing in female events. The Gay Games gives trans athletes the opportunity to compete where they feel comfortable. Even though there was a record-breaking 186 out LGBTQ athletes at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, they still face prejudice within the Games. Therefore, LGBT athletes still need games where they can feel safe while competing. The Gay Games also give us a chance to celebrate queer athletes and queer culture as a whole, serving as a great platform to show the appreciation and support for queer people. But this can only be a temporary fix, because to live in an accepting society, we shouldn't feel the need to have a separate sporting event for queer people. While it is important that the Games exist as a platform for activism and a place where LGBTQ+ athletes can feel safe, this cannot be a permanent solution. Trans athletes should be allowed to compete in the categories they feel aligns with their gender identity. Queer people should not be afraid to express themselves to represent their country. LGBTQ+ people should not have to face homophobia while attending sporting events. One day, I hope we don't need the Gay Games, but for the moment, it's a vital part in reaching equality.